Through the sneak attack damage ability, rogues had the highest weapon damage output of any class. Whenever... Well, fine. I won't read. Oh, hey, look, this area is all nice and not Fog of War. Oh, God. Oh, wait. What are you? What are you? Hey. Who are you? We're blocking your way. Never mind, we're not blocking your way. Okay, he's just a traveler. This is a soul. Alright, reach for the soul. You see a ship being tossed in the storm, about in a storm-ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, carrying the ship with them as if they were a toy, or as if it were a toy. This man stands on deck at the helm of the ship, while water whips around him. The crew moves about frantically, trying to keep the chaos under the control. He barks orders at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while still visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they are giving their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel and rushes to the aid of a crewman who is struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship crests a wave, going almost vertical in one direction, and then immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship is rocks. What? Sliding across the deck as the ship is rocks?
The is probably a mistype. It probably just
Yeah.
says as the ship rocks.
After the swell passes and the ship returns to a relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, counting silently. No one has been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened. He returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. That's cool, so he's a captain. That's pretty cool. Okay, what about her? You see a lavishly decorated room, walls hung with tapestries, ornate oil lamps creating a warm, relaxing atmosphere. There are several overstuffed couches covered with silk pillows and an elegant table in the middle of the floor. This woman is seated at the table, sitting across from another woman. They are both well dressed, their style befitting the room they're in. The other woman's hair is blonde, in stark contrast to this woman's black, and is swept up on her head in a dramatic style. The women speak in an easy, free tone, obviously familiar with one another. Though they each seem to be comfortable in each other's company, a strange nervousness surrounds the blonde woman's actions. She occasionally betrays herself with a little giggle or stammer, hitching over an easy word as she speaks. Her demeanor swings from friendly to shy and back again with no warning. This woman leans back a little in her chair, stretching lightly. As she finishes her stretch, she gently lays her hand next to the other woman's hand, letting their fingers subtly intertwine. The second woman stops speaking mid-sentence, inhales sharply, and turns red. She does not, however, move her hand. This woman smiles and moves her hand further over the other, holding it. She then stands, moving around the table toward the blonde woman, whose face shows conflicting emotions of terror and lust. She giggles and pulls her hand out from under the other and brings it to her mouth, the red of her face deepening. This woman stops, looking down at her, eyes sparkling. She reaches out and pulls something from the blonde's hair, letting it fall around her shoulders. Then she leans over, brushing her lips lightly over the blonde woman's cheek, resting her mouth against her ear. As she whispers, her hand moves lightly down the other woman's body to her waist. The blonde shudders and leans into the hand, eyes closing, cheek pressing against the lips, still whispering at the ear. This woman's hand deftly removes a small bag from the other woman's belt and secretes it under her own cloak at the small of her back. Then she gently kisses the other woman's cheek and stands again, the smile never leaving her mouth. Well,
That was interesting.
that was insightful. Oh, who are you? Oh, you're a commoner. Hey, we're honest types. We're honestly gonna shoot you. Okay, here's another soul. There's a lot of these, jeez. Oh, this one's a short one. You see a flurry of matted white hair and an incandescent freeze fire staff before you see the man, cold and wild. He chews a wizened apple slowly, discharging spell after spell into the jumble of villagers screeching their way towards him. Cold flame vents from his nose and apple seeds shoot out the side of his mouth as he saunters forward, ignoring arrows and curses alike. A deliberate twist of his staff and a bullet of force glides through the torso of one assailant and another. A roar blisters his throat as he launches himself into their midst, tearing into their essence with his staff. A bleeding hand reaches towards him and quickly falls, ignored. Silence takes hold as the tattered man gathers his prize. A basket of fresh pears.
Psycho.
Ignore me for a moment. Ignore me for a very slight moment.
It was completely insane.
I froze the game!
Are you gonna loot him?
Yeah, I am. Oh, hey! Gabe has something better, but still. So what does he have? What is this? Oh, wow. Whoa, holy crap.
Wow, that lasts really long.
That lasts really long, but that minus 10 might and that 4 fatigue.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's psycho, but we took care of that. Okay, you guys are just commoners. You guys don't have any stories for me to kill you over. Oh yeah, that's right. Why are we supposed to be going to Defiance Bay? Oh hey, he has a name. He didn't say what can I do for you. He said good day to you. I'm looking for the Temple of Wotica. Not sure why you'd want to go there. It's in First Fires if you really want to see it. Oh, there's a problem. There are thousands of problems, truth be told. We've got refugees coming in from all parts, under some misguided notion that things are actually better here. That the legacy somehow passed us over. So they show up with no prospects and little money and just end up making a worse mess of things. No offense. Oh, well, fuck you too. We're not that bad. So we have to go to Copper Lane. Barbarians have many abilities that make them well suited for engaging groups of enemies in melee. When dealing with large mobs of enemies, consider sending... Why would I not send the barbarian into the fray? That's what I did the last time. That's what I played as the last time. I played as a barbarian. I decided to...
See, the barbarian is supposed to just stand in the back watching while everybody else dies.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a thing.
It's a description of Defiance Bay.
Mm-hmm. And it's like fully voiced too. Like this is a story thing right here. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god? Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Cool. How? I want to know. Can we learn?
Probably. I mean... There's a kitty! Let's talk to the kitty. I want to talk to the kitty. I can't talk to the kitty. The cat detects us. Doesn't detect Aslan, though. Look. Look, everyone else says it, but Aslan does not. I don't know if that means Aslan can scout for us without getting spotted. Oh, this is some nice music. Oh. Oh no. Why do I have a bad feeling about entering this place?
Do it anyways.
Yeah, might as well. Oh, there was something like this in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, too.
Yep.
I slaughtered everyone. Alright, let's talk. Rowan's arms are crossed, and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacies no better here. It's the Animancers. Magans scorch 'em and they nest in this city like rats. You mark my words, though. Us dozens are gonna put a stop to it. What are you doing out here? Trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the middle of a crisis, and instead of pushing the nefarious voices from our city, the Duke is granting Animasters dangerous liberties. What about Animancy? It's a study and manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Aedirans, at least, had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient and Egyptian times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Egyptian artifacts. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. We don't have a lot of AoE, so...
Of course you do. It's called a rolling flame.
That's actually what I was about to do. Okay, I'm going to position Jarius in just right. Right there looks good. Oh, God! Well, he's dead. Yeah. That worked about as well as I thought it would.
I would have made it go through the 2 guards.
I didn't know the guards would attack. I just thought I'd be dealing with the protesters.
No, they are guards for a reason.
Yeah, but I'm killing protesters. I mean, I thought guards killed protesters. Or is that only in our country? And yeah, I just went political.
You went beyond political.
I did. Try and stop me, though. It's a truth. Seems like every day there's a... Oh, hey, look! 3 more spirits. I like this dude. Let's examine him.
And he's probably the psycho in the bunch.
You see a wizard playing illusions in a town square, fingers plucking color and sound from the air and weaving scenes of beauty and fright. A crowd of onlookers gasps and cheers, enthralled with the display. All but one boy, standing off to the side, mouth agape. Green eyes are pale with wonder, vision after vision playing out before him, and something inside the boy clicks. Without warning, he bolts, disappearing into the crowd, pushing and shoving desperately. The mage finishes his show soon after. A giant silver dragon descending through the crowd, and 1,000 stars exploding into nothingness. Collecting coins, he walks around the clapping crowd, bowing and nodding at each as he passes by, until a small sack is dropped into his hand. The boy stands for a moment before him, small and still, and begs the wizard to apprentice him. He glances at the hefty bag, weighing it, and the boy carefully. Finally, he nods and flicks gently at the bag, which disappears. The boy grins. "How'd you do that?" he asks, but the illusionist merely winks. Oh, this guy's cool. I like this guy. What about the vulture? Whoa, vulture's lengthy. Okay. You see a hand curled and bruised, staked to the floor with a bent metal spike. Blood covers the floor and drips from the furnishings and walls. This man looks up from the body he is crouched over to survey the carnage he caused to the family, in whose house he now sulks.
Oh, got another psycho.
4 bodies total. A woman, 2 young men, and a girl lie blindfolded on the ground. Their legs are bound and both hands are attached to the floor with spikes. He has lifted the woman's blindfold and is currently doing something to her eyes. He pulls back a small blade and covers the eyes again, gently patting the blindfold. He stands and looks around, seemingly satisfied with his handiwork. Suddenly, his breath quickens, hearing someone approach the door to the room. He bounces in place, excitement almost overwhelming him, then rushes to the back of the room, concealing himself in the shadows. From his vantage, he sees the bodies are perfectly arranged, each one facing the door, welcoming the man of the house back, arms outstretched as if in embrace. The door opens as he slowly pulls another spike from his belt, the tip of his tongue playing across his teeth in anticipation. Yeah, we do got a psycho. Okay.
You might want to save first. Who knows what's going to happen when you attack him.
I think there was an autosave. Yeah, there was an autosave. Okay. Kaboom. What does this one do? I don't want to hit him. There we go. I just want to hit that. Strax is gonna do his thing. What the heck? What do you have? Oh, you have Vicious Aim active. That's right. You can't mark him. Dariuson's gonna cast Ghost Blade. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a cone. Necrotic Lance. Okay. Oh! Well, this was a bad idea. I'm killing a psycho! Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
And you killed the spirit you don't know anything about. And
Yeah.
a good spirit.
I also just killed the barman.
And everybody else.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Well, let's see what they have. They might have something good.
Ow! Straxium did like a point-blank shot there. Oh god, we're... Oh my god, that is so terrible. Well, they had stuff on them.
That's some money.
I don't think it was really worth it though. Oh hey, what is that? Fine hide armor, but it's... Yeah, that was like not worth it at all. Like, that really wasn't... exceptional quarterstaff. Yeah, that wasn't worth it. Okay. I love that this game allows me to attack whoever I want, though. Okay, hold on. I gotta move my FPS stuff around. So there you go. An actress. Hello.
You still need to talk to that other spirit.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Was it this one? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Alright. Irishti Tungsten. You see a fire burning slowly on the side of a winding road, unmanned. There seems to be no fuel, no wood or oil for it to consume. No hay or twigs. Despite this, it roars, cries, wails in the wind. It takes you a moment to begin, but you begin to notice a figure in the flames. Its shaking hands cradle a young face, molten red tears marring skin the color of coal. The boy cowers, flame coating him as he holds his knees to his chest. In the distance, a man approaches, faceless. He extends a hand to the frightened child, who considers it warily before taking it. The flames die down, leaving his limbs and settling on his head like obedient pets. All tears dried, they walk together, fire and death, hand in hand. Aww.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. So the vulture is the only one that's like the one that we actually want to kill. Let's go talk to this guy. Can I get a room? We'll take the common room.
I want to see the fancy room.
I don't think we actually like get to see the rooms. Oh hey, look, there's another soul. You see an impressive gathering of wild Orlans in ceremonial dress, shaded by a copse of ancient oaks. Or copsey? I don't know. Underneath the largest oak stand two young Orlans, hands clasped, eyes clear as they promise to care for and love one another in the joining of their clans. An older Orlin steps towards them to speak, beard seeming to sprout from directly underneath his eyes, and declares their union complete. The jubilant Orlin clans carry the newly wedded couple away to their tent with snorts of laughter and crude jokes, leaving the older Orlin to sit alone beneath the age-old oak. He sighs, observing the scene in the distance. He whispers a quiet benediction, glad for their gladness, and melts into the trees without another word. He has seen enough happiness for one day. Aw. Why you being a grumpy puss, buddy? You know what we do to grumpy pusses here, don't you? Nah, I won't. I won't do that. I wanted to. Oh, hey, that one's important. Oh, wait, what's this mercenary? Oh. Yeah, we need a stealth. We'll check out that named woman later because she has a name for a reason. Oh, I could totally get that. Bartenders are in.
Reservation.
Plus 20 defense whilst... Oh, holy crap. I know who that's going to. The only person who, you know, gets hit, really.
Coco.
Yeah, we found some Coco. Yeah, he has a ring slot, so, I suggest we get that to him. There we go. Nobody saw us, too. That's good. Oh, hey! Another spirit! Why are there so many spirits? Yeah, let's talk to him. Wow, he is a long one. He's a really long one.
Really long one.
You see a mud-soaked clearing, rain falling to the ground in large drops. This man is lying on his back in the muck, his hands holding open the maw of an enormous Stalgar that stands over him. Its front paws on his chest. The heavy rain falls over them, playing counterpoint to the grunts made by the opponents. Dead Stalgar litter the ground around them, and the man's body shows signs of a difficult battle. His clothing is torn, hanging in scraps in some places. Bites and scratches cover his arms and legs. A huge gash cuts across his forehead, blood and water mixing as they run down his face and drip into the mud. It takes all the man's effort to keep the beast's jaws from clamping down. The man looks around wildly until his gaze finally lands on a large axe lying barely within arm's reach behind his head, the rain slowly covering it with grime and muddy water. He looks at the Stalgar and then back at his axe, grim determination on his face. His arms are shaking, and it seems he will not be able to hold the beast back for much longer. He takes a deep breath and wraps his right hand around the Stalgar's bottom jaw, which then lets go with his left hand, freeing the top of its head. The Stalgar's mouth snaps shut on his right hand as his left shoots out above his head and grabs the handle of his axe. The Stalgar grinds its teeth and pulls back, trying to free itself from his grip, blood dripping from its mouth onto his face. With a grunt that quickly becomes a bellow of pain, the man pulls his right hand down, bringing the beast's head closer to him, swinging the axe around as he does. The blade of the weapon pierces the Stalgar's neck and it yelps, its mouth popping open as it tries to step backward off of the man. Before his mangled hand can lose its grip, the man pulls and twists as hard as he can, trying to get the beast on the ground. Using the Stalgar's resistance to pull himself into a sitting position, he brings the axe down on its neck again. And again. And one final time as its head and his hand simultaneously come free. The head flies from his grip as he thrusts his hand behind his back to brace himself as he falls. As his hand hits the ground and his full weight lands on it, a second bellow of pain erupts from his mouth. Breathing heavily, he brings his now mangled hand up to assess the damage. The little finger is gone, lost somewhere in the mud. The two fingers next to it are twisted, broken, and torn, barely attached to his hand by small bits of flesh. He sighs, grabbing both dangling fingers with his left hand. He grits his teeth and pulls.
He just yanked off his two other fingers.
Dude, this guy's a fucking badass. guy's a freaking badass. I'm not messing with him.
I wouldn't either.
Jeez, he pulled off his own hand, or his own fingers. A dwarf and an Orlin debate philosophy on the other side of this curtain. Well, okay, thank you for telling me that. I guess. Oh, hey, we could probably check out the rooms upstairs. We haven't done anything for this entire out. Oh, hey, look. Another soul. Not that as long. You see a half-consumed ale slosh its way across the distance to his mouth, spilling across the stains of food long past. Glazed eyes glance at the brawl across the room, gaining fervor as the fight extends through the room. Another ale, he murmurs to the bartender, downing his drink and turning towards the wall. He pulls a picture from his pocket, a painting of a young child, all brown hair and green eyes, and holds it above a candle. It does not burn. Ales later he begins to sing, the bar a mess of broken chairs and wounded pride, and they all listen for a moment before continuing their drinks. Svef? Conversations. His ache is felt through the room. His sad story reminds them of their sad stories. When he finishes singing, a silence hangs in the air, palpable among the smoke and the sweat and the yeasty smell of beer-infused exhalation. He is the first to break the silence, ordering a round of ale for the room. The general din of conversation sparks and resumes, but the mirth now is tempered with far-off memories and thoughts. This guy's cool. I just want to say that right now. This guy's cool. But yeah, let's go upstairs. There's usually good shit in the upstairs rooms. I like reading these souls, though. It's amazing. Oh, hey. There's lots of named characters here. Except, well, is Key a name? I see. She's, not in a talking mood. Oh, hi, guys, what's up? Oh, God, there's 2 more souls. They're watching me. Orlith, I think you have the highest stealth in the party, so I'm going to send you in there and see if they see you.
Doesn't Aslan have the highest self?
That's technically true. Let's send Aslan in there. Aslan can't loot! You can't loot either. So I have to loot.
Well, in this case, you do.
Well, I have the highest mechanics in the party.
Yeah.
God dang it.
I want to wait for yours.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
This won't stop me for long.
Whoa. Whoa. Wait, calm down there, buddies. Calm down there.
Well, you picked it.
Yeah, I did. I just gotta loot it.
Run!
That was a success. That was a success. What about in here? Anything good in here? Oh, well, there's no one. Oh, the good thing is there's no one to catch us.
This won't stop me for long.
Oh, hey, look, lockpicks. I haven't used them in a while, but I think the.
Yeah, after those 8 you used in that one.
Oh yeah, God, and now I could probably go back there and just open the door. Let's check the books. Oh, hey, there's a. Oh, let's see. The most unfortunate tale of Favia in what? Of Favian Burnett, a Valiant tragedy. Oh God, it's a play. Nope, not reading that, but I am taking it. I'll read it later. I like sometimes. Oh God, hello. Are you souls? You're souls. You look like a psycho. Oh God. Oh God, this again. This again. This again. Hide me! Screw it. Oh God. Well, Time to not care. I don't
What
like
is
you.
that screaming face on your?
Oh, that I get to rest the like. It is really cool. Okay, so the Watcher speaks directly to the souls of his or her enemies, filling them with the dread of what awaits them in the wheel. So I get to frighten people. So we'll do that. We'll frighten them. You mark this dude. You mark the big guy. Gabe's gonna come over here and he's gonna kick ass by using Thrust of Tattered Veils on him. Shaxim's gonna do his thing. That's all I can say. Necrotic Lance on him. Alright, let's do this. Aslan, what are you doing, you little shit? Attack! We're so sorry! We wanted your loot. We probably could have made that in like 5 seconds, but we still wanted it. Okay. Nobody saw us. We still lost... Oh, whoa, whoa. One of them had a pistol. Why is a pistol two-handed? Oh, well. Loot! Okay.
Now you can loot the cupboard.
We did loot the cupboard.
Oh.
That's why the combat started. Is because we looted the cupboard.
Okay.
Okay, we just need to make sure no one's going to attack us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the non-soul enemies are pissed. Or, all the soul enemies are pissed. I think we just made a grave mistake. So... yeah, we made a grave mistake. Let's not do that again. There's nothing really...
Do it again.
No,
Do
we're
it
not doing
again.
it again. There was nothing worth it. Like, there was absolutely nothing worth it there. Yeah, we'll stop being in detection mode. I mean, we got the ring. The ring was amazing. Wielding a single one-handed melee weapon with no shield confers an accuracy bonus. So we have to go to the temple. Which at this point could seem to be anywhere, but it seems to be in the center of town, so that's where we're going to try to make our way. So we also have this here. Oh. Okay, I'm going to try something here. And it's going to make me feel terrible, but this is something you could do in the first 2 Fallout games. Oh my god, are they seriously going to let me?
Let you what?
I think they're going to let me kill the kid. I don't want to do it, but it's a test.
Overkill?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Aslan has something. What? He actually has a thing. Oh god!
Task failed. Something secret.
I feel like no, it was a test. It was a bad test.
Yeah, you did it anyways.
I didn't think they would actually let me do it.
You're the one who said they let you attack anybody.
In the first 2 Fallout games, yes, and this is
And in this one.
no. Well, I mean, yeah, in this one, but I didn't think they'd actually let me attack the kid. I've only tested it on adults.
You're a wonderful person.
Shut up. Shut up. Look, science was performed here, and it was regretted. Oh, hey, there's a... Is that a jail? We might as well. We've been reading everything so far. You see old... That's supposed to be Anne.
It still looks like you're tripping.
It's because I'm accessing the soul, alright? You gotta trip
I
balls
don't
in
care.
order.
It still looks like you're high.
You gotta trip really large amounts of balls to access the soul, alright? It's not an easy thing. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as a customer enters, a disheveled young noble, once white doublet, stained with a life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit, before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling, panicked in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger, to the dwarf's ill-concealed delight. A few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his 2 sharp teeth as he examines his haul. No one would be around to see this, but, everyone would know about it as soon as it happened. Also, Strax seems kind of terrifying. He has the sinister. Attack! Because he's a jerk. Alright, let's see how many people are going to attack us this time. A startling nobody. Okay, fantastic. Maybe the guards will attack us. Well, this person was killed. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When near, without warning, the soul hurries toward you, as though you were a solitary light in the dank gloom of this place, come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You are following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure, dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. That's a very much a I don't like this place type thing right there. Oh, hey! Hi, friend. Don't mind if I do this.
Yeah, that's a little bit much.
Wow. That did, like, nothing! Jeez. That was sneak attack, too. Gabe's definitely going to need to attack. Alright, we're all going to need to attack. Gabe's just going to need to do the most direct confrontation. Oh, God! I see those over there. Gabe's going to do Arcane Veil. gonna have you mark the troll. Dryacin. No one's in this way. So, you know what? This is actually advantageous to us. Let's do that. Oh god, someone is in the way. Strax! Get over there. It's gonna hit nobody because they moved. Oh, it did hit them. It's not too bad. Okay, Strax has built up his 3 phrases. Let's have him summon his army of skeletons. Let's have those skeletons go for the lesser black ooze. There. Okay, troll has fallen, lesser black ooze has fallen. Overall, that wasn't too bad, actually. Aslan took a little bit of damage. But overall, everyone actually remained quite healthy. Only problem is I had to have Dryacin below one of his 3rd level or 2nd level spells for the day. Okay. So we must have killed the troll that killed the dude. Like, oh, fudge. We didn't. I don't think we did anyhow. There might be something back here. You never know. That's caps lock. Viscous, foul-smelling sludge ebbs in the trench. Everyone's trying to squeeze past each other. I don't even know why I don't even know what this place is. Oh, there's loot. There's some loot. Oh, hey. Oh, there's tombstones. Granny? Oh, that's... let's see. Oh. That's, Let's see if there's anything funny. Well, there's an extremely long name. You still there?
What was the AKA said?
Oh, let me see. AKA Durthak Shadow Wolf. To my son Odin, may you outshine your name. To my friends, live long and do whatever. To all, never winter nights and never winter nights too consumed much of my life. At least I figured it's never winter nights. That's the only video game abbreviation I can think of. I'm just worried about traps, to be quite honest. I remember the last time I walked narrow corridors. Okay, might as well open this place. Oh, hey! No, I didn't ask for you guys to move. I asked for freaking engagement. There. Jeez. Strax took like 3 damage. No, he took 9. Not too much when your health is frickin' 85. Oh, hey. Oh, that is totally something that needs to not... There we go. That's a wizard. That needs to not exist again. There we go. Stealth. I saw something else. Oh, hey, what's up? Our gunners are in front. Can everyone move into position, please? The answer is no. No, they can't. Okay. Huh. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, anything funny on this one? I won't let me. Oh, there it goes.
1.23457E.
That's probably a math equation of some sort. Flipper claws. Is that an O? Yeah, it is. OFC, NFC, TRI, LWQSTR. I am truly fortunate to have known you all. Thank you for always being with me. What are you looking up over there?
The math equation?
Oh.
What was the last part of it?
Hold on. I'm looting. Okay, 1
Plus
point...
49. That's what I was missing.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually comes up as a thing for Pillars of Eternity.
What? Are you shitting me?
Yeah, the top result is the equation / Pillars of Eternity.
Nice.
Yeah, it just tells you where to find it. Like Memorial 16.
Oh. Oh well. Maybe it's not a mathematical equation and I'm just paranoid. We haven't looted it. We haven't looted this room yet, so we're gonna go loot that room.
Looks like it's an equation for Excel.
Excel, like Microsoft Excel?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't have Microsoft Excel, so. A big empty lot of nothing? Okay. This small Orland man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking little camp. The thick fur on his limbs is matted, and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, his eyes widening in alarm. After a moment, he smiles weakly. Hello there. Wasn't expecting any visitors down in these parts. He glances around the dim room. What can you tell me about these catacombs? Aeon smiles wryly. Haven't explored too much of it, to be honest. Got lucky finding this little corner of it, but let me think. Well, the canal there, that's Grogan's Canal. Grogan was the dwarf that planned the whole thing. It runs up through to Andra's gift, spills out into the sea there. Otherwise, it's just a lot of bones. There's the Warrens, for people that couldn't afford better. But it's all flooded now. The fancier folks, they have their own resting places. Down here. Drier places. The Dukes of the Deerwood are down here, actually, if you want to pay your respects. What are you doing down here? I don't meet anything. I don't even meet Stealth. I'm not sure about him. I like this. So, if there's anything to learn from this, kids, it's that slaughter yields loot. And loot is useful. Huh?
I missed what that thing did.
Critical hit multiplier bonus. That's going on me.
Ah. What's that funky hat?
Let's see. It gives might. I don't know which one of us used might.
Doesn't Gabe?
Gabe, slightly. He's more of just clinking around in heavy armor until
Just might do.
it adds to damage. Oh, you don't even have a hat. Here, take a hat. There, you have it now.
And it actually works well with my outfit.
Yeah, it actually kind of does. Huh. Well, that worked out.
What are the boots?
They give Constitution, which actually Gabe could use, considering he needs those. And then this ring gives a bonus to max endurance, which, I mean, we could give to Navi Ray, but
Just give it to somebody who doesn't have a piece in there.
we all have pieces there. So it's gonna stay in the party. It's gonna stay in the loot for right now. Yeah, I couldn't trust him. He seemed too shady. And I know where those lockpicks are going. Yeah, except all the lockpicks. Oh, hey. The queen that was and still is. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to bring up Steam community. Okay, so we have stairs to descend down. I don't want to descend down them, but we have to. And everyone's out of order again. Oh, there's bones. There's lots of bones. Whoa! Dang spore. Okay. We're gonna have Gabe attack. Strax is gonna do his thing, because that's all he can do. You, Mark. Jarius. No, not move. Who did I just... Oh, no, okay, it didn't go through. No. No, Orlith will not move. Orlith will. Mark the opponent. Jariusin. Oh, Jariusin is the one that apparently is moving, except he's not, because I'm not going to let him. He is instead going to just attack. I'm going to try blinding shot. And she's going to just attack. That thing was a lot more dangerous in size.
Yeah, that died quick.
That died really quick. Oh, hey, there's somebody down here. Oh, hey! Yeah, we might as well...
And a big one.
Oh,
And
God.
another tiny one.
Yeah. Summoners, and they're all going for Navi, right? Everyone! Oh, Gabe is... Oh, God! Gabe's confused! Aslan's confused! Aslan's confused. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Okay. Dank spores. Okay. So let's see. Wodaka hood. A dark mask bearing the stylized countenance of Wodaka is attached by a thread to a black hood. Worn together, they obscure most of the defining features of the wearer's head. But it gives no stats, man. What? Oh, there's something up there that Straxium decided to aggro. There we go. And it's dead.
My eyes are peeled.
Okay, we just gotta slowly creep along now. Seems like there'd be something secret here. Have we explored? I think we've explored all the way over here. No, we haven't. There's still more. Not much more. Oh, there's a lot more. Never mind. I lied. Oh, this is going to be lovely. Come on, everyone, attack! Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That critical hit right there. Okay. So, yes, this way has all been explored. Oh.
And more ooze.
Yeah. And it's going right for, Strax.
By the way, next to our party members' heads
Yeah?
when we're in battle, what's the little orangish icon?
Oh, that's one of Strax's, phrases.
Okay.
It's, at the sight of their comrades, their hearts grew bold, which gives us plus 10 fortitude and plus 10 will.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's in our party, we're often going to be seeing icons down by our little things because of his chanting, giving us buffs. Because that's how chanters work. They buff.
Hey, is that another tombstone?
That's a way down, it looks
I
like.
want the tombstone up there.
Yeah. Ooh, but you know what else is here? No. Red Troll, what? Here lies Red Troll number 9739 of the Codex. He is buried with his evil black arquebus. It was impossible to pry it out of his cold, dead hands. Zombie. He tried hard but remained second eternally. Sorry, sec. What? Okay.
I think they're calling him Sec.
Ah. Might as well. Exceptionally average. Okay. We are not going to go downstairs yet. Because I have no idea what the... Oh, hey, those are things. Now, all y'all attack him. And I mean all y'all. There we go. Critical hit. That's what I need. Okay. Once again, sneaking. Oh, hey, what's up? Thank goodness it did not cast whatever it was going to cast. But looking at Uriason, all the past times we've had him cast Rolling Thunder, it looked like he was about to cast Rolling Thunder. Or Rolling Fire. Rolling Thunder is a Pathfinder spell, I believe. Oh, it's leather armor. That's lame. Oh! Where's the combat? What? Oh. Okay. So quietly. Yeah. Straxus went unconscious. I knew there'd be traps in here somewhere. Okay.
You need to stop setting off these traps.
Okay.
There, done.
No, it's not done.
There, done.
No, it's not done.
There, done.
You are failing.
Got it.
These must be really high DC.
There, done.
There, I'll trigger it. Okay, yeah, it's a damage over time trap. We're gonna have to rest. Everyone's getting all annihilated. Oh, that's why this is a trap. Well, obviously.
Wow, you did quick.
Yeah, it's good. Don't care what the reasons are for, but if you're hanging around necromancers, or like animated corpses, you kind of gotta die. Whoa. Whoa, Helic had some nice stuff. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no.
This doesn't look good.
Who are you? You see an image out in your mind of a woman in heavy leather armor, bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who calls her Rowena. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcery. Rowena falls among them, her body collapsing next to a young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Rowena. He reaches out to her, and what little life remained in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from around her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within it. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. What do you want? You see an image of the amulet shattering and the soul inside rising and dissipating among the stars. Farewell. Oh, they want us to destroy the... Can we destroy it? I don't think we can destroy it. Let's... Where is it? Is it a quest item? Yeah, it is. Where would we even begin to try to shatter this thing? Blah blah blah, not there. Not there, but there's a thing here. A tarnished locket. Oh hey. Something was discovered. Scroll of prayer against infirmity. That's nice. I guess.
Oh, did you get a book from the guy?
Oh yeah, that's right, the grimoire. Gotta check that out. God dang it. Only person who didn't move for some reason was you. Okay, let's see. So, grimoire. Oh, I have to actually put it into Gabe's inventory. Let's see. Ooh, a couple third level spells. Fireball and Cancel Hot's Draining Touch. The caster's hand becomes a toxic parasite, causing corrosive damage, weakening it and leeching a portion of its endurance. We kind of need that. Let's see. Ray of Fire. Ooh, nice. Nice. We have Fan of Flames. Gabe has that. Okay. Time to pass it on to Jariasin and see what Jariasin can glean from this. Aside from everything, Oh, not really. Nothing useful, anyhow. So, yeah. Okay. Need to just creep along now. I'm tired of this.
Would you look at this?
There we go. Ha! Oh, a pistol. Corpse. Pistol. I'm trying to... whatever. I don't want to... Whatever. Is there... No? There's not. There is only... Which have I not explored yet? Is there a map? Oh, hey, there's a map. Fantastic. Let's... Okay, there we go. I'm pretty sure we do not have any, Well, this is useful. That is insanely useful. Means I don't have to keep track of anything, really. Where... Still haven't entered this room yet. Let's do that. Who's this? Hmm. Yeah. Nah, there's some valuable stuff, I guess. What's up here? Ah. Whoa. A
More
lot of open
rooms.
doors. A lot of open doors. Let's go in this one. Ah, time.
This.
Hoo, 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 hoo. How about I take care of that? Fine mail armor. Too bad it doesn't have as good a protection as frickin' the heavy plate that Gabe's wearing. No traps. Yoink. So this is basically just like the noble halls, I guess.
Would you look at this?
Of course it's trapped. Unconquerable. Plus 2 intellect while endurance above 50%, plus 25% focus gain. Oh, that's for ciphers. No, not compare. Loot. We don't have a cipher, so it's kind of useless to us.
Well, even without the focus part, you could still probably give it to somebody.
Yeah, except for some odd reason, cloaks and necklaces take up the same part, so...
Yeah. I thought it took up the spot for rings.
No, I wish it did. I wish it had, like, its own slot. Because that would be the most useful. Alright, let's go downstairs. You can change how much metagame information is displayed in the conversations via the option menu. Whoa, holy hell. What? Older roadman. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you. You're from Kratom, my boy? His words are an echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it, as if it has always been. I came to live there years ago.
What made you decide to join our order?
Huh. The gods have been good to me and I wish to repay them. The world needs to know about the true gods.
Remember never to be discouraged by those who cling to the beliefs. They are worthy of our pity, not our scorn. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost?
I guess I'm ready. Oh, that is weird. So, we ended up finding the main quest without actually finding the main quest. Alright, where's the traps? Oh, this is some eerie background music. What do you discover? Oh, that's like barely even noticeable. Jeez. Yeah.
Would you look at this?
Can I disarm this? Yes, I can. Ooh! Gauntlets of accuracy. See what else. You think you hear the faint sound of whispering coming from the skulls, but the words are unintelligible. Interesting. Okay. Oh. Let's go back down here. There's guards here. The mercenary eyes you warily as you approach, his weapon readied. What are you doing here? You don't look like one of the that masked lot. Interesting. Attack.
Wait, what happened?
There's people down here.
No, what was that about? Did it say to pay the guy?
Huh?
I saw the conversation options where there was like you could pay the guy or something else.
Oh yeah, but what I'm thinking of doing is actually something a little bit trixier. A little bit trixier than that. What we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to wear this Wodaka hood on us and see if that changes the conversation. Let's get this part over with at the very least. Blah. I came to live there years ago. The god needs to join the true gods. I am. There. Okay. So let's try this again. Oh, yeah, that's right. Need to go into fast mode. So I know there's a trap in that room.
Would you look at this?
And I know that there's a pressure plate here. There we go. Why do I keep failing?
They have extremely high DCs.
Yes, I did. Well, you know what? Screw it. We'll walk around it then.
There.
It only takes one of us to loot the chest.
Who are you giving those gauntlets to?
I have no idea. Probably you. Yeah, nothing else here. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna try to wear the masked hood of Wodaka and see if that changes the conversation at all. Hello, dudes. The mercenary looks at his feet. Please go in. His eyes dart up to the rest of your party. You know the acolyte doesn't like guests. I keep my friends of yours out of the main chamber. He shuffles. She's already in a state on account of someone being late. No sense in provoking her further. Alright. Sounds like I have to go in alone.
Well, no, just out of the main chamber.
Oh, yeah. Well. That looks very main chambery over here. You think?
Yeah, probably. So they just let you through with the hood.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that might be the main chamber.
Yeah, this looks very main chambery as well. Everything looks main chambery. I'm gonna scout. See, it looks very hey, what's up? Not very stealthy. So I'm not gonna try to pick anybody's pocket or anything. I think I'm just gonna, you know, be on my way. Well, oh, here's an urn I can afford to. That's not too bad. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go in alone. Have you guys at least in the hallway to help me? Actually, have you guys like that? Kind of like reverse your positions. Alright, let's see if I do anything.
Would you look at this?
Huh. Oh, hey. What is this? Scroll of Protection. Interesting. I don't think this is main chamber. No, this is not main chamber, so. And you're definitely gonna face these guys. Except Gabe's at the back for some reason. How about we put Gabe at the front? Gabe at the front! Close enough. Okay. I am stealthy. That looks main chambery. Oh. You hear murmurs and chants on the other side of this door. A ritual of some sort is already underway. Oh, shit. Continue into the chamber alone. Here goes nothing. Shrouded woman. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. The woman turns toward you. You are late, attendant. Even though her face is concealed, you sense her rage in her dangerously low voice, and in the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now. State your name and purpose.
I'm gonna mutter indistinctly. Oh, fuck. Help! Help, Fox! Ow!
Well, you're dead.
That's what.
I'd still go in there alone and then just try one of the other responses.
Fuck that.
Just to
We're
see what
charging.
happens.
Fuck that. We're charging in there.
You're all the way back here. You should probably save.
Yeah, I'll save.
You often pray to him.
Yes, I was one there. Blah blah blah.
Join up. Remember,
True gods. I am. Okay. Yeah, screw this. We're charging in there. And we're doing that by Kaboosh!
Aren't you gonna go get my gloves?
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Do you know there will be a later?
Yeah. Ow! My face! I don't know what the hell Aslan's doing.
He was trying to get around.
He's just doing a very poor job of it. Okay. So much for the, you know. Yeah, gotta be in sneak mode to notice that. And then I'll come over here, avoid the trap. Disarm this one. Get your gloves. I have a feeling that there's like reports that could have helped us and not made us like that initiate. I could have probably just like talked to him or something and gotten a report that I could have said. But it's too late for that now. Ah, crap. Mirror image. Why? Dryson's getting mashed in. I should have saved. There we go, and then get this guy. Oh, Dryson's down. I did 0.9 damage. Are you kidding me? There. At least Orlith picked up the slack. I need to give him those gloves.
Yay, gloves.
There you go, your gloves of accuracy. Yeah, Dryson bit the, like... Oh hey, a novice's grimoire. We'll go through that later. For now... Oh, there's still a couple more things to pick up. There. Still one more thing to pick up. He doesn't... Okay, whatever. Camping is not allowed in this area. I thought it was. Okay. We'll go upstairs and camp. Also, it's far too late and there's no retreating now because we just rode over the autosave. Oh hey, Main Keep's construction has been complete. Sneaky. Gotta be sneaky. There, attack. No, attack. Yep, I'm down.
You won't see me coming. Let's go.
Okay, well then. Well, at least now I don't have to feel guilty about looting everything. Now I have like 5 copies of that book. Oh hey, the dozens. Interesting. Oh. Oh. I think I did bad.
Why?
Well, I think what I just did was basically, hey, what's up, guys? Let's get Gervaison into position, like, over here. Now, what Gervaison can do is Rolling Flame! Here it comes! Oh god, here it comes! Yeah, that was my bad. Well, Straxium's down, but not all of us are. Oh, there's her gauntlet finally showing. Attack. Gabe needs a little bit of... No, not that. There. No. Man, these guys were just having a nice drink and I decided to shoot them in the face. Stealth is meant for people who are a lot better than us. Nope, still not allowed. Okay. Well then how about we make a nice save slot? Kaboosh! Gabe is definitely going to need to use his arcane shield. Gervaison's going to have to fling some spells at them. Magic missile. I'm going to need to... I'm going to tear out their souls. No, that's this. What's this? Let's do that one. Orlith needs to mark this dude, because he's going to be the biggest problem that we face. Navi needs to channel her Holy Radiance.
And Aslan can't even get in.
Nope, Aslan cannot even get in. I need Gabe to distract this dude. Gabe is about to go down. Navi needs to freaking... There we go. I'm down.
Hey, he's got his belt. Straxium.
Huh? Oh, he does.
Go for Straxium.
Jaxium does have his spells. Okay. Time to summon some skeletons on this dude. Well, thanks a lot for starting the attack, guys. Oh.
Wow.
He's
That
still
was-
freaking flinging spells. Okay,
Yeah,
we
well,
went about
he
this
also
all
wiped out
wrong.
the skeletons in one hit.
Yeah, we went about this all wrong. That dude is the most dangerous one. Fuck it, charge in! Now Jariason needs to fling... Where's his... Why does he not have... I can't edit Grimoires in combat. But I'll have to ask myself why the hell he doesn't have, shit activated. Arcane Shield, Navi Ray... No, not that. There we go. I am going to... Wait, what? No. Holy Radiance. And then just stay there, I guess. Holy Radiance. Do something! Okay. Preston's flinging a spell. I am going to try to tear their souls apart. Strax is going to do his thing. What was that?
That was the necrotic lance.
Yeah, but look how it's like phrased though. It looks like 1150 damage. And Ryson's gonna cast that on him again to kill him.
Hopefully before he shields himself. Nope, there it goes.
Doesn't matter.
Yay, it doesn't matter. That's good.
Navi needs to freaking heal Gabe because he's taking a beating. Aslan can't do shit. You, Mark, the Shrouded Man, because he has more health remaining. Strax has his spells, so he's gonna conjure his skeletons right there. Gabe is going to conjure that staff so that he can, you know. There we go.
You
Whoa!
conjure a staff?
It's a staff that gets conjured and then proceeds to, attack!
Why is that guy... Why did your... Oh, you got shot all the way over to the side.
Oh, that was a spell. Gabe needs to once again to cast Arcane Veil. Nope, Gabe's down. I don't know what's going on with this dude. I think he's trying to get to, like, Aslan or something, and he's just not doing it.
Isn't that a good thing?
I guess it is. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I think he is trying to get to Aslan because that's the melee.
I thought he'd be trying to attack somebody over here, you know?
Maybe you.
He might be. I mean, he's blinded. There we go. Okay. Oilith killed him. Gabe is probably... Oh. Crumpled at your feet lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears an insignia resembling a key. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears and her lingering consciousness rends at yours. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the spaces between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one they approach her, whom they know as an acolyte, and she places her hand on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer that their oath is sealed by the leaden key. She asks them of their tasks. She gives them new ones, all without a word. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, and splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes, you see flashes of something else: a tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. You funnel all of your concentration into a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins the raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it and the three thoughts swirling inside. See the tower. You see a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she has something he needs. You also see a door in the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. But then the acolyte reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open the door. Inquire about the prisoner. In your mind you see a building, magnificent with trellises and tiles, and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted but his eyes alert. He watches and waits. A prisoner by choice. Let's look into the ruins. The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay into a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads Deerford. Several figures huddle together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft in a mountainside. Let's back away. Well, good to see our party members are back up and running. They had a lot of good shit. Is this the leaden key? Hey! A lead key. Oh, she must have been the freaking queen that we were sent to, take care of. I shouldn't say that. Whether by design or by consequence of the sputtering candlelight, the hooded statue's face is almost impossible to see.
My eyes are peeled.
Ooh, there's loot. What's this? There's loot. Torque of Defiance. Interesting. Fast mode would probably be a good thing at this point. Oh, cool, I can do things like this. Purchase that. Oh, the West Barbican's already in progress. Oh, I can only do one thing at a time. Okay. Oh, stairs. Lovely. And we can't rest in this area because camping's not allowed. Let's save and then hope that Gabe doesn't die on us. Oh. That doesn't look like it would die. Or Gabe would die at all. Huh. Well, this looks lovely. Oh. Oh, I see. I see what's happened here. We took the back way. I think that's what I'm getting. I think I'm getting the fact that we took the back way. Hey, hello there. Guards. Greetings, ossifers. Now where am I going? I should probably play around with the enchanting at some point. This isn't where I parked my car. It's funny when you can't, okay, so Copper Lane, yeah. Should probably talk to that kid. Where was he? Is he down here? I think he was down here. You're creepy. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, Dalton. Who are you talking to? Oh, my bad. I thought I heard her. Trials and adventures. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Didn't we just kill Helig Thane? What? Now we have Solace Vale. Okay. Who's Rowena?
It's time to set her free.
It is.
Number 3.
This isn't what you want to hear, but releasing her soul back into the cycle would be best for both of you. Oh, damn it. Let's see if we can try that again. Maybe if we say Helig's in the soul is in the amulet, he'll smash it. Eh, we're not gonna slink along. We're just gonna. Who are you talking to? What troubles you? Tell me about these memories. Who's Rowena? Helig kept her soul trapped in this amulet for decades. It's time to set her free. No, please, after searching for her oh, God. This isn't your choice. Rowena wants to be released, and I'll honor her wishes. Better that you stayed in the catacombs, you heartless creature. Hey! I'm not a heartless creature. She wanted to be freed. Where was that kid? Was he over? He was by here, wasn't he? Because I think we met him. Oh God, Mouse. Mouse, don't decide to crap out on me right now. We just came from there. I know that kid was around here somewhere. Maybe he's by here? There he is. Gordy. A young boy watches the passers-by and counts a grimy handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes a quick, furtive effort to pocket his coins. Hey, mister, want to know a secret? He wipes his nose with a sleeve. I know a real good secret. Really? What is it? He shrugs and clasps his hands behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. I just saw folks hiding some really neat things. I could show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers. His eyes slowly roll up at you. But maybe you could help me with something. Then we wouldn't be oh, God damn it. What? Gordy's voice suddenly rises in pitch and tempo. The Crucible Knights have these daggers made out of March steel. It's the best steel around, except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore. He stops long enough to catch his breath. Anyway, there's this merchant over by the Expedition Hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know lots about daggers. I know about the different kinds of steel. I know how the Crucible Knights make them in the forge. I know that the tip can pierce low-gauge scale armor. Though that one that's good and sharp, it can cut through bone. See, I know plenty about daggers, and I really, really want this one. And if you could just get it for me, I promise I'll never, ever ask anyone for anything ever again. Okay. You think I did it? Think I did good?
Huh?
You did not hear my rant or anything?
Oh, yeah.
You think
It
I did
sounded
good?
pretty accurate to me.
Okay. Inaccurate or accurate?
Pretty accurate.
Okay.
You did it well.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I'll tell you what, kid. You tell me your secret now, and I'll give you a dagger from the Knights of the Crucible themselves. Gordy's jaw drops. A real dagger from the Knights? Okay, here's the secret. Gordy puts his hand up to his mouth and whispers loudly. I saw one of the actors hide something under a loose stone near the theater. Probably nothing as good as a March steel dagger, though.
You're an ass.
What? I'm not gonna let a little kid have a dagger. You're the ass. Didn't I see this guy before? His name looks familiar. Viserys. You see a man cross his arms and stick out his chin. Moonlight and torchlight color his face. Bullshit. An elf standing in front of him wears a panicked expression. Are you mad? I've seen it. Aha! The first man cries, raising a triumphant finger. You just said you've only heard of it. The elf blinks. What in the name of Gallowayne's beast does that have to do with anything? You said you'd only heard it. Now you're telling me it's a monster the size of two Amama. Amama? What the fuck? With blood-dyed fur. The man takes a step closer to the elf. And now I'm saying you're a liar, Doran. Doran sputters. Gods, Viserys. Who cares what it looks like? It's a rabid wolf. You saw what it did to the sheep? The elf throws up both of his hands, shaking his head. You want to stay out here all night to see the thing yourself? Have it your way. I'm getting out of here. Fine. Alright. Good. The elf storms off, casting one glance over his shoulder as he disappears down a hill. The man sets off in the other direction, a sword in one hand and a torch in the other. Within minutes he comes to a broken paddock where a dozen sheep lie dead, their throats torn and their innards shattered or scattered across the ground. It is not the work of a normal predator. Something crunches through the dry grass. Viserys spins, but he sees nothing. He raises his torch higher. This time, a rustling sounds from behind him, near the paddock. He turns again to see a wolf. It's not nearly as large as Doran had sworn, and while its fur is matted with red around its throat and paws, the rest of the elf's description has proven to be rather lurid exaggeration. Typical. Viserys takes some small satisfaction in this even while the wolf lunges for him, its jaws foaming and eyes rolling. Oh, that's cool. So he killed the wolf. Obviously, because he's still here. Okay, So there's a thing.
My eyes are peeled.
Aha. Oh. Your time has come, Sigrun. Your life is at its end. Oh, Lofton, she calls to me. The pallid night. And you have such poor luck with women as it is. I cannot die yet, my children. What of my children? But you have no children. Plot twist. Of course I do, you fool. A wealth of them. Great armfuls of golden. That is, golden-haired tots, all of whom I love dearly. Oh, some guy in the crowd is not pleased. You, sir, are not pleased. I can tell. You're an ass. Time to interrupt the play! What's up? How you fellas doing? And so, yes? Why look, a weary traveler, drawn by your flute. And so our audience wishes a closer look, it seems. And though it may splinter my soul, I will. Oh, just warming up. This is pretty cool. Damn, what's the line? Though the road is long and the fighting fierce, my courage will not fail. Her soul shines bright, her heart is true, but ahead lie greater dangers. The 100 poison arrows of the Crimson Serpent's Rangers. Well, that's cool. I like these little background things. At least when they're good. Not when they're like, that one dude from Terrace, who just keeps screaming about how evil aliens are. He was annoying. I mean, he was right, but he was annoying. Okay, so... Oh, we shouldn't save just yet. We need to frickin' find that. Need to find that inn. Was it this? I think that was it. You can always tell an inn is nearby by the fact that there are 2 people talking outside of a door. See? Look, what'd I tell you?
Well met, friend.
So what's the most expensive room?
I can only hire level 3 thing. Okay.
How do you do?
Let's see. Looks like 160 for +2 dexterity and +1 stealth.
Is that a permanent increase?
No, it's temporary.
How long?
I don't know, let's see.
Ooh, you can level up.
Oh, I can. Sweet. Let's do this. Wow, that took all my points. Jeez. I think it's time to get some stealth going on. Nah, I don't need stealth. I need mechanics.
Do mechanics.
I have enough mechanics, I think.
No, you don't. Because you kept having trouble doing those stupid traps.
Oh, now I get to select a rogue. What's finishing below? The rogue looks to finish off an injured opponent with a precise deadly strike made with an accuracy bonus that increases in power the less endurance the target has.
I would think you would get crippling strike or something.
Reckless assault. causes the rogue to dive into battle without a second thought, lowering his or her deflection, but increasing accuracy and weapon damage. Plus 20% melee damage, damn it. What's riposte? The rogue looks for openings to counterattack in combat. Incoming melee attacks that target deflection and miss have a chance of allowing an instant full attack riposte. So that's like for a fencer rogue. Let's escape. Allows the rogue to break engagement and expertly avoid the next attack, diving out of range to a specific location. I'm gonna go for deep wounds. Now I can hire a level 4 person. Vixen's Burrow resting bonus, +1 stealth and +2 dexterity. It doesn't give me a time. So I don't know. I don't know what it's all about, but I think that's all I'm gonna do for today. So I'm gonna get some dinner and stuff. But yeah. Let's see. Stop streaming.